Vlogmas. Welcome to another day of Vlogmas. Today is the day after my Christmas get together that I had, and I just can't be bothered to put makeup on today. I'm sorry. Thank God for these eyelash extensions. They make they just definitely make you look a little more presentable when you don't want to be presentable. Like, it's a good thing. I'm so tired. I went to bed at like 3 a.m. last night. Everyone left at like 2:30 or almost 3 a.m. So yeah, it was a good time. It was a really good time. But I'm really tired now. We drank so much wine. How many bottles? We had 5 bottles of wine and there was 4 of us. But we also, like, everyone was here for a total of 8 hours, which is crazy. Like, I didn't think everyone would be like together for that long, but that's amazing. So I feel like I was successful at hosting my first Christmas get together at my apartment. So I feel like it was a big success. I had so much fun. Everyone had a lot of fun. So yeah, I'm really happy about that. But for today's vlog, I'm not going out. I think once the sun hits my balcony more, I might lie out in the sun and just try to like recharge my energy, recharge my body with the sun a little bit. Obviously wear some SPF because it's Australia. You gotta wear SPF always, every day. But yeah, and then I'm just gonna do a Q&A for today's vlog. So I've been working all day. I edited and uploaded 2 videos and I wrote an article, and I should write another article, but I don't have enough mental capacity for today to do that. I feel like it's been busy. I've been nonstop since after my first coffee. So yeah, I think that's gonna be the plan for today. So I posted to my Insta story saying to send me your questions on Twitter, and then I'm also gonna accept some questions on Instagram as well. So I'm gonna post a photo there and see what kind of questions come in. I don't think I'll have a lot for today, so I might have to continue this vlog tomorrow morning, because I think most of you who watch my videos are in the US, so the time zone difference, like you'd be sleeping by the time, you'll be sleeping right now at the time that I posted to my social media, if that makes sense. And then for my Aussie viewers, you guys will get the notification. Yeah. Also, I'm curious, for my Aussie viewers out there, where do you live? Like, what city are you from, the majority of you? Are you mostly from Sydney, Perth, here in Melbourne? Are you here in Melbourne, or are you in Queensland and stuff? Let me know, I'm curious. I want to kind of get an idea of where my Aussie viewers are residing, because I feel like a lot is in Sydney and Perth, to be honest. I feel like not a lot of you are in Melbourne, but I'm happy that I have more of a Australian audience these days. It took me a while to get to you guys, but thanks for checking out my channel, even though I'm not Aussie, don't have an Australian accent at all. But thank you guys for tuning in and checking me out and my channel and stuff like that. Yeah, okay, time to drink more green tea. I'm so thirsty, and I've literally been eating the food from last night today because Jess left half her cheese here leftover, so I've been eating that and the vegetables that I prepped. That's gonna be what I eat for the rest of today because I don't feel like cooking, and then just drinking tea. So yeah, I'll tune back in once I have all my Q&A questions ready to go. Cozy. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another day of Vlogmas. For today's Vlogmas, it's super chill. We're just doing a Q&A, and it's really itchy in my nose right now. The allergies are so bad these days, so bad, making me like, do you guys know when your allergies are so bad that you just can't seem to open up your eyes? That's been me for the past few days. But anyway, today we're taking it chill and we're just going to do a Q&A because it's been a few months since I last did a Q&A, so I figured it was about time we did another one. Plus it makes Vlogmas a little bit easier on me. So we're gonna hop right into it. I asked you guys on Instagram to send me your questions on Instagram and on Twitter. And I think I posted it to Facebook, I'm not too sure. So let's check out and see what kind of questions you guys asked me. We've got about 41 questions on Instagram. I'm gonna try to answer as many questions as I can, and I'll skip any questions that seem repetitive, like ones that I've answered already. Okay, so the first one is from Kay Larray on Instagram, and she says, how did you start your YouTube and why did you start? I started my YouTube as a blogger. So I was originally blogging on my blog that I still have to this day, and then I kind of transitioned into review videos and makeup tutorials. And I started on my MacBook, and then I got a little digital camcorder, and then I kind of slowly transitioned into DSLR. How I started was just really casual. Actually, I still use my channel to this day. It's the BB Beauty channel, and I started that about 7 years ago, but I didn't really take it seriously until the previous 2 to 3 years. Before that, it was just a hobby. I'd post like once a month or something like that, so I couldn't really count myself as a YouTuber. But yeah, it all started with my blog and then makeup tutorials and like reviews that were really like bad. Next is from Uni, my friend Eunice from Korea, from Wishtrend TV. She says, do you miss living in Korea? Where are you planning to move to next? And do you miss your uni cuz? Because I miss you dearly. I miss you too, Eunice, every day, every day. I do miss living in Korea. I miss aspects of it, like the culture, co-workers, friends, the food. Obviously, you, Eunice, I miss you so much. You're my best friend, one of my best friends to this day. And where do I plan to move to next? I don't know. I don't really think that far. I've never been like the 5-year plan kind of person. I always just kind of like, I don't know, I just kind of live year by year. So if I was to move from Australia, I think next would just be Canada. I don't really have any big ideas from here on out. Next is from, hi Jessica Ann, my friend Jessica here in Australia, and she said, what advice would you give to your 16-year-old self? Oh man, that's a good one. When I was 16, I was in my rebellious phase where I was just being bad and sneaking out of my house and doing all the bad stuff. But if I was to give my 16-year-old self some advice, I would say focus on school more and work harder for your aspirations, because back then I kind of gave up on school. I didn't take it seriously, and I really wish I did. Like, I could have done so much better, but I just got caught up in like high school drama and like partying and being rebellious, and I let my grades slip. So I definitely say focus more on school, take it seriously, because you'll be like thankful in the end. So yeah, that would be my advice to my 16-year-old self. Oh, and maybe to not care so much about like other people at school, like focus on you, not other people. Christy Fletcher on Instagram asks, what are your plans for Xmas? For Christmas, I am going camping for 3 nights in Otway National Park with Kyle and 2 of his friends. So we leave Christmas Eve day, and then we come back the day after Boxing Day. So yeah. And that trip is a no social media trip, so we can have our phones, but you're not allowed to go on social media or film anything or post anything. It's kind of like an escape from internet for a few days. Tepyuk on Instagram asks, how are you enjoying Melbourne? Do you like the food culture there? I feel like I'm just recently really starting to enjoy Melbourne more, because I came here during their winter time, so I didn't really enjoy it to what it truly had to offer. And a lot of people always would tell me Melbourne comes alive in the summertime, so that is right now. And I definitely can say now that summertime has hit in Melbourne, I'm enjoying it way more, like huge difference compared to winter time here. And for the food culture there, I don't know, like it just kind of seems like regular North American food with a good like multicultural mix. I like how many restaurants and cafes and cute little trendy things there are, but there's no real like unique food. Laura Elaine Desolates, I think I'm saying that right. She asks, how did you tell your family you are moving to Korea? Where did you get your guts to go? What was the push, Kyle? How was living in different countries changed you for the better? And what was your first job in Korea? Ooh, that's a lot of stuff. A lot of questions based on Korea. So long ago, it was like 4 years ago now. Oh my gosh. I've always been bad at telling my family I'm leaving. I always wait till like the last month, the last few weeks, then I tell them, just because I'm someone who doesn't like to set things in stone to other people if they're not set in stone for me. And I'm a very last minute kind of person when it comes to big life decisions. So I kind of just was like, so I'm booking a flight to Korea and I'm gonna go live with Kyle there for a bit, see you in 11 months or a year. I'm really bad for stuff like that. I don't like kind of delivering bad but happy news. I don't know. Where did I get the guts to go? It was from Kyle. There was no way I ever would have gone to Korea if Kyle wasn't already going there and living there. I would never have done it on my own. And yeah, the push to go there was him, because he was going there to teach English to pay off his student debt. And I was like, be with my boyfriend and experience a new country, or stay home and never see my boyfriend again, most likely. So yeah, that was the push. How has living in countries changed me for the better? I've become more humble, I feel like forgiving of people too. Like when I see people on the streets and they're like a little bit sassy, or customer service people, I feel like because I've met so many different people in my life and I've experienced so many different cultures and types of people, that like I just feel very almost jaded to, you know, cultures and people and stuff. Like I'm just very humble and kind of like chill about everything, when in comparison to before I moved countries, like I just kind of was like very judgmental maybe of other people and other cultures. But now, yeah, I just feel very humbled towards it all. And what was your first job in Korea? I only had one job in Korea, and that was working with Wishtrend doing social media marketing. Agent Danny on Instagram asks, who do you miss the most from Japan? Oh, okay. I feel like I miss everyone kind of equally, but if I had to choose one person, even though I miss everyone, it would probably be Emily, because I feel like I spent the most time doing and exploring things with Emily. And then everyone else I kind of miss equally. Like I feel like I miss everyone equally, but Emily, I feel, definitely was the person that, you know, I don't know, I just felt really close and connected to her. But otherwise, like on a regular basis, I miss everyone so much. Jazzy Wazzy on Instagram asks, how was it living in Korea and Japan while not knowing the languages? Did you study the language while you were there? It wasn't that hard, because I lived in major cities. So I lived in Seoul in Korea, and then I lived in Tokyo while I was in Japan. And it's very English friendly there, so it's easy to get around and do stuff. And because we're in this day and age where we have smartphones and Wi-Fi and internet, whenever I was stumped on anything, I would just get Google Translate out and do the picture thing to kind of check. When I was in Korea, I was doing my best to study Korean, even though I was working a full-time job while I was there. So I didn't really have the energy after work to study as much as I should have. And I didn't really put my heart and soul into it, because I knew I was only there for a very short time. So I didn't feel like I wanted to dedicate like so much effort and stress to learning a language in a country I knew I wasn't going to be in for long. And the same kind of happened in Japan. When I first got there, I was really pro for studying and I was working as hard as I could. But then I kind of realized I wasn't going to be there for long, even though like when I first got there, I wanted to be there for at least 2 years. But then life just wasn't playing out that way, and I just didn't see a purpose in studying for something that I knew I would never use or need in a couple months or a few months. So it just didn't really make sense to force myself and push myself really, really hard for something that was unnecessary, you know? Like, it was fine for me to get by without knowing a lot, but I did know like survival level of each language, so I could go grocery shopping and communicate if I needed to, ask for directions, ask for help, order food, that kind of basic stuff. Byung Jun Ho 9, I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce your name, but on Instagram asks, how do you feel knowing that people around the world are watching and supporting you? Also, how has the support helped you personally? For me, the whole having an audience around the world has never really fazed me as much as it has this year, I feel like, because as I said before, I was doing blogging and YouTube pretty casually for the few years prior, but it didn't really hit me that there was a lot of you until Japan. And then in Australia, when I lost a large amount of my audience, it kind of was like a reality click in that like you guys like aren't always going to be supporting me and you're not going to always like me or be into me and stuff, and it kind of gave a different spectrum of how I viewed it. And it's interesting because also the older I get, the more I think like, do I really want my life to be online? And even living with Kyle again, as you guys have noticed, I keep aspects of my life and our lives separate from the internet because, you know, our relationship and our personal life shouldn't be 100% online for the world to view because, you know, privacy rights, and, you know, he doesn't want to be on the internet, so I respect that. And that kind of made me think, well, will I really want to do YouTube forever? Do I want to do vlogging for forever? What if I want to have kids? Do I want to show them on YouTube? And you know, it's weird, but I'm definitely 100% grateful for you guys that stuck around and supported me after Japan, because Japan is a very click audience, and once you leave Japan, no one cares about you anymore. Unless you stay in the Asian countries, because they're kind of a similar foreign feel to them as someone from North America watching, or Europe watching, or any major English speaking country. If you leave Japan and go to another English speaking country, it's not as interesting, right? So the people that stuck with me after Japan and are still watching this to this day, I am so grateful for all of you who support me, and you know, I definitely really value you guys. Little Chrissy on Instagram asks, what's the most shocking and unexpected thing about living in Australia? And what's the best thing about living in Australia? For me, I think the most shocking and unexpected thing about living in Australia is, for some reason, I had this conception it was going to be super, like, beachy here, but I guess every city is different, right? Like, I just had this kind of image of Australia. There was kangaroos everywhere, there was a lot of desert, and a lot of beaches and sun, and that definitely is not the fact for Melbourne, so that was shocking for me. Like, it wasn't, like, shocking, but it was just, like, unexpected, and I was kind of like, oh, yeah. It's not, like, stereotypical how movies and TV shows or tourism make it seem to be. And the best thing about living in Australia is, I'd say the culture. People are so friendly here, like so friendly, and I love it. I absolutely love it. Yuranuka Senpai on Instagram asks, how do you keep your relationship with your boyfriend last long? How have you dealt with long distance relationship when you're in Japan? I feel like I've answered this multiple times throughout being in Australia and even in Japan, but you can't really make a relationship last long that isn't supposed to last long. Like, we're just lucky we've lasted 8 years, and you know, we kind of respect each other, and we've always been supporting of each other and the things that we want to achieve in our life. And you know, we grew together as adults, we grew together as a couple, and I've always made an effort to be supportive and, you know, open-minded with each other as we grew as individuals and adults. And it certainly hasn't been easy. There's definitely parts where we've fought, where, you know, things have been really, really rough and a breakup was imminent, and we have in the past broken up a few times, but overall, you know, it's love that keeps you together and a mutual respect. And for those times in the past where we have broken up, you know, we've always missed each other so much, or just, you know, we're family now, like, and we can't, like, there's been no desire for anyone else. And that's definitely hard to find in a person, and not everyone is going to be like that, and you can't force someone to love you or stay with you. So I think in that aspect, we're both lucky that we both have, you know, been in love with each other for that long, and we both are supporting of each other. Becky Palki on Instagram asks, are there any countries you want to live in that you haven't yet? I don't know why, but recently I've just, like, really desired doing 1 month, 3 month living in Bali or Indonesia or something like that, Vietnam, Thailand. I don't know, something just has become so appealing about just escaping and living that lifestyle. Like, yeah, I don't know. That's what I kind of want to do next. It's definitely hard because you need an income, you need something, but like, I wouldn't mind doing that if I could. Butterfly Anais on Instagram asks, do you still keep in touch with Taylor and Charla? Any plans for a Shaler B reunion in the future, whether in Melbourne, Hong Kong, or Seoul, or maybe Canada? I do still keep in touch. Of course, everyone is really busy with their own lives. All three of our lives have gone in complete different directions. However, we do still keep in touch via social media. Sometimes you guys may see that on public posts where we tag each other or, you know, tweet each other or kind of do a little shout out in a video or comment section on a video. And from time to time I'll message as well. But like I said, our lives are all in different directions, and yeah, we do keep in touch from time to time. I would love to meet up with them, but Australia is definitely not a country that's easy to get to. It's really expensive to get here, and also it's pretty far. I would love to meet up with them in Seoul if I had the opportunity to go there, or if I ever have the opportunity to go to Hong Kong, that would be awesome. But that's definitely not in my books right now, neither is Canada. But it'd be cool down the road if we all ended up back living in Canada and we all met up for a little reunion. I'd like that. But it's definitely not planned because, like I said, our lives are all on different tracks right now, like complete different tracks. Brie Del Rey on Instagram asks, what do you want for Christmas? See, like, I've gotten to that point in adulthood where you don't want anything for Christmas and all you want is an easier life. You just want, I don't know, I don't want anything for Christmas. I just want happiness for Christmas. That's all I want. I want for everyone to be happy and my own happiness and, you know, things. I just want like a good 2018. That's all I want. When Juan Dorian on Instagram asks, what are your future plans about the YouTube channel and will you continue Little Bits with B section? I probably won't continue Little Bits with B because most of you guys that do watch my vlogs have, it's clear you guys don't, not everyone likes that, as the views are generally really bad on those videos. So I will do it once in a while, maybe, like whenever I feel like it, but it's definitely not a segment I plan to keep up or do really anymore because it proves most of my audience doesn't like it. Even though I know there's some of you out there who do like Little Bits with B, but it's just not feasible for me to make it a regular thing if it loses views and loses subscribers for my channel. Plus, I also don't always like filming my cooking because it actually is a lot more work than it may appear. You have to set up, clean, and then change the angle, and then it just ends up being a lot of work that doesn't really pay off on my channel. So I think I won't keep up with it unless I really do want to show the recipe. JConcus1017 on Instagram asks, what's your favorite part of Melbourne so far and how is it different from living in Japan and Korea? Well, for starters, Melbourne is not an Asian country, so it's very, very different. I think my favorite part about Melbourne is how, well, at least on the area like that I live in, or just, yeah, I guess it is all of Melbourne, but it's very Victorian style. So it's definitely so different in that sense, like all the houses and buildings that aren't skyscrapers or modern inner city are very Victorian, like old era style. So it's very, very cool to see. Like I've never seen anything like that in my life until I came here. Miss Thistle asks, who do you look up to the most in your life and why? That's so hard. I feel like there's no one really in my life right now that I really admire or look up to. So yeah, there's no one that's really inspiring me these days, to be honest. So I can't really answer that one, I'm sorry. Steph Law 89 on Instagram asks, what are your top 5 Holy Grail beauty products? That's a whole other video. EHA products. So that's like Cosrx. Cosrx a good one. Claire's toner, because I can always go back and use that. Oil cleanser. Any kind of deeply hydrating serum, and AHA products. Those are probably my 5 Holy Grail types of products. Yeah, so anything that's really hydrating, gentle and sensitive skin, not going to clog my pores, and is going to help fade scars and even out my skin tone and clear my acne. Command Ground on Instagram asks, how did you become interested in Asian beauty products and culture? Well, I was always interested in Asian culture, particularly Japanese culture, ever since I was about 12 years old. I learned about geishas, and then that kind of led me into a whole thing. And then, of course, anime was a big influence in my life for a long time. Like, it pretty much made me who I am to this day. Like it was a huge chunk of my life from when I was like a little girl with Sailor Moon all the way till I was like, still watch it, but not as much, but yeah. And what got me into Asian beauty products in particular was when I started doing blogging, and I kind of discovered Circle Lenses, and then somehow Circle Lenses brought me to Etude House Skincare, and then that's where I started, you know, exploring Korean skincare and stuff like that. And I think that was when I was 20 or 19. I want to say 20, yeah. But it all started with Circle Lenses and bloggers, other like Asian bloggers. Meilao Wings on Instagram asks, how do you feel about kids in marriage, if it's okay to ask this? I'm not ready for either. I wouldn't want to have kids until I could financially support them, and right now I can barely financially support myself, so I think kids are just not even in the spectrum of my life. For marriage, once again, I'm not ready for that, as marriage to me depicts having a house together and settling down, so I wouldn't want to get married until, you know, I've decided on what country I want to live in. I want to stay in this country, and we're done doing the living abroad thing. So right now, none of those things fit into my books. They just don't match my lifestyle right now. Lumiere Victim on Instagram asks, if you were to wake up tomorrow with a new power or ability, which would you like it to be? I would like to be able to teleport anywhere in the world. That would be the power I want, because traveling is so amazing, but it's so expensive. Like, I wish I could just wake up and be like, oh, I want to visit my family, and just teleport to my home in Canada. Or be like, oh, I want to visit my friends in Japan, teleport to Japan. You know, I think that would be the most amazing ability, because there's so many people from everywhere I lived and visited that I love and I miss so much, but I can't see them because I just can't, I don't have the ability to see them, you know? So yeah, that would be it, teleportation. Some.rar on Instagram asks, what was your college experience like? Did you go right away or did you take a break? I took a break after high school for 1 year before going to college, and my college experience was a mess. It was an absolute mess. I went for business and cosmetic management, and the course was nothing I expected it to be, because it was a waste of my time and my money. And I just realized this course was just me throwing money at nothing, basically, at a sheet of paper. Yeah, it was the worst. And even for the first semester, like for 2 months, the professor never showed up. It was literally a hack. I would not ever redo that college experience. It was just a huge waste of time. I think if I did redo a college experience, or like think about going to school again, I don't know what I would do, to be honest. I've always been more of like a trade worker, so I think if I did go back to school, I'd do something like becoming an esthetician, or like a registered nurse for like injectables or facials or skincare or stuff like that. That's kind of what I've always been passionate about from like high school. Malil, I'm saying that right, on Instagram asks, what food are you planning to make for Christmas? Well, since for Christmas we are going to be camping, I have no idea what food I'm going to make, and I'm actually the one who's supposed to be planning the meals, all the meal planning for our camping trip, and I'm supposed to be doing that today, but I was so tired, like I just couldn't keep my eyes open. I have a ton of planning and writing I have to do today, so I have no idea, but I do feel like I want to have some sort of glazed ham and roasted potatoes over a fire. Oh my god, yes! I just figured out what I'm making for Christmas. It's gonna be tough though, because it's gonna be over a bonfire, so we'll see. Elsie_93 on Instagram asks, hi B, what's your favorite food in the world? Love from Spain. Oh, Spain, so cool. My favorite food in the world, that's a really hard thing to ask. Obviously in December I'd say sushi, because I can't stop eating sushi. But overall, for my whole life, it's always been cinnamon buns or French toast. And mashed potatoes. Yona.hisoka asks on Instagram, when you feel lost and not knowing where you're headed in life, seeing everyone else settled or knowing exactly what their goals are, how do you deal with that sense of yearning for security and wanting to a clear view of things? Lots of love. That's hard because I don't feel like I have any aspect of that figured out yet. I usually just stop looking at stuff like that. Like if I'm on my personal Facebook and I see a lot of people getting married, having kids, being successful in their careers while also traveling, I want that. I definitely want that in my life, but my life is not in that direction, and that's not controllable or foreseen. So I usually just click away and look away, and I distract myself via TV shows, movies, video games, or working and creating content for you guys. And I just kind of tell myself everyone's life is different and everyone's life path takes them in a different direction. So I try not to dwell on the negative too much, even though I'm definitely an emotional person and I have so much jealousy, but I always try to control it and to, you know, turn that jealousy and envy into something creative or positive. So yeah. And then Yona.Hisoka also asks, she's curious to know how I stay so educated on things from the internet. Well, basically I just continue to read. So if ever I get a curious thought, or I'm thinking, I wonder like how that blah blah blah, or I'm reading a skincare item and I see an ingredient I don't know, and I always Google it and then I read up on it. Even though like sometimes when you Google things it can seem like a lot to read, I just keep reading it because I'm generally quite passionate to learn about the thing that I'm Googling. So the secret to staying so self-educated is to just keep educating yourself via Google. And if you feel like you Google something that's too much for you to read or learn, then I guess it just means you're not as passionate about learning about it, which is fine. You just haven't found the thing that sparks your interest truly. So I don't know, I just read up a lot on the stuff that I Google. Miriam HZB on Instagram asks, where did I buy my Christmas lights? All the Christmas lights I've bought have been in vlogs on Vlogmas, so I bought them from the dollar store or the grocery store like Kohl's, and then I just did it myself. Yeah, you can see it in the first few Vlogmas videos, like 1, 2, 3. Rep 610 spray ed something on Instagram asks, long time follower, what is the one thing you miss about Canada, Ontario? If I visited Ontario, what is some tips or recommendations for visit? The thing I miss the most is the nature. I miss the nature a lot because I'm from a small town in Ontario, kind of north of Toronto, northwest, yeah. And yeah, the thing I miss the most is nature, and then obviously family and the easy life I had there, living with family. So that's what I miss the most. If I was to recommend any tips for a visit, I can't really say much because I've only been to Toronto, like I can count it on my hands, like it's under 10 times. So I'm not really good at giving advice for traveling there, other than maybe check out Hilton Falls in Milton. It has really good nature and waterfalls and hiking. Fran asks, how's my job hunt going? I have that on pause right now because I'm too busy with my other 2 jobs, what I do for an income. So that's on pause until I need to actually start doing it again. Otherwise, yeah, it's fine. I'm not doing it right now. Maybe later though. Maybe next month. Because I kind of came to a conclusion that I'm starting to see warm weather in Australia, and I kind of, like, as a tourist, I kind of just want to like enjoy it for what it is, even if my income is like kind of living paycheck to paycheck, you know. So I kind of, instead of like devoting my life 100% to working 3 jobs and just doing that, I'd kind of want to actually enjoy Australia for what it is. So I'm kind of in that middle ground right now. Shantive on Instagram asks, favorite K-pop band as of now? None. I don't really listen to K-pop. I've never been a huge K-pop fan. Whew, my battery died. I had to charge it. Hopefully we have enough battery to continue. This video is becoming way longer than I thought it would be. Sanseki on Instagram asks, what are you doing for New Year's? For New Year's Eve, I don't have a plan yet. I think Kyle works. He works a lot. And yeah, I don't really have a New Year's Eve plan. It will probably be a last minute thing, either with my Australian friends or with Kyle's co-workers. But for New Year's Day, I'm going on a yacht, or like a boat, around Melbourne. We rented one out. Me and some of Kyle's co-workers, the girls, rented a yacht boat thing. So we're gonna go on a boat. I'm gonna try to film it for you guys, but it is not with the YouTube crew or blogger influencer crew. So we'll see what kind of footage I get, but yeah. Leslie_BN3 asks, what is your 2018 resolution? Mine is to be happier and not focus on the negative so much and kind of just live life carefree, more carefree. Because I feel like in 2017, I let the stresses of life get to me way too much and it really took away from my happiness. I think for the majority of 2017, I was pretty depressed. So I want to focus on being happier in 2018. Kisses.Chris asks, where has been your favorite place to live so far? Is there anything else that you'd love to stay, or anywhere else you'd like to stay a while? My favorite place so far has been Japan, I think. And then is there anywhere else I'd like to stay a while? Just like I said before, that Bali idea. Like Indonesia, Bali for like a couple months or 1 month sounds really, really fun. But I'd need to do that with someone. Like I feel like I couldn't do that by myself. It'd be too stressful. Megan Warfell on Instagram asks, when did you first get interested in makeup, skincare, healthcare? And were there any makeup styles you tried when you were younger that you find embarrassing now? When was the first time I got interested in makeup and skincare? Oh, when was that? I think it was around the end of high school that I really started to get, okay, I remember. It was when I started getting acne. So before in high school, I loved doing makeup and my friends used to always ask me to do their makeup for like prom and stuff like that. But then when I turned 19, I really started getting into healthcare and skincare and more like everything kind of health and beauty related because I got acne. So I wanted to kind of find the problem for my acne because dermatologists always prescribed me stuff that just burnt my skin and made everything worse. So I just kind of went on a track of self-health and healing and skincare, and that was my result and kind of how I fell into like such a health driven and skincare based lifestyle, more so than makeup. But yeah, I think halfway through high school I got like obsessed with makeup and hair, and I wanted to be a hairstylist and makeup artist for a while. Then I got acne and things kind of turned into more of the health side of the spectrum of beauty, the beauty industry. And was there a makeup style that's embarrassing now? Yeah, in high school I didn't do my eyebrows ever, so I just had mascara, eyeliner, and eyebrows, or no eyebrows, and it looked weird. And then after I tried doing the Gyaru style makeup, like eyes, not the tan skin and hardcore like early 1990s style, but like I tried doing the Gyaru style in the beginning of my blog time as a blogger, and it did not suit me at all. But you know, that's the whole point of being young and like experimenting with makeup, is to try new things, right? Sarita82 on Instagram asks, if you could imagine your life in the perfect scenario, what would it be like? Obviously rich with a easy job that I love doing, close to family, with my loved ones, all my loved ones in my life, my pets, and having the option to travel wherever I wanted, whenever I wanted. Bookworm Barbie on Instagram asks, what are some of your go-to comfy movies to watch on days inside? Favorite 90s movies, etc. I'm not really one to repeat watch movies. I don't really do that often, but if I was to watch like a comfort movie or something, usually they're Christmas movies, you know, something that's related to the time of year, so a Halloween movie. Or if I had to relate, or if I had to say one 90s movie I always love, it's Romy and Michelle's High School Reunion. Cameron J on Instagram asks, do you still play FFX IV? And what is your job? I'd rather not say what my job is because I kind of want to keep that to myself these days. It's personal life stuff, but I do still, but I haven't played FFX IV in a while because I'm trying to focus more on building my social media and working harder on YouTube rather than spending my free time playing video games. But whenever I do have free time, I do try to hop back on FFX IV. I'm still in Heaven's Ward, but I also like to switch it up. So the most recent game I was playing was Tales of Berseria, and I was streaming that a bit on Twitch when I started. So we're gonna move on to Twitter and see what kind of questions I got there. Pink King Andy on Twitter asks, are the pigeons loving your balcony decorations? They were at first, when we got the new furniture out there. They were very, very, very curious and were trying to like check it out and make nests, but I scared them away, so they haven't been back since. Sheena, or Running on Fire on Twitter asks, how come Kyle doesn't want to be in your vlogs? Not everyone likes being on camera, you know, or is comfortable being on the internet. Kyle is one of those guys who doesn't like social media, so he's very inactive on his personal Facebook. He doesn't have a Twitter account. He has Instagram, but he doesn't post ever. And yeah, he's just a very private person. He prefers, you know, the aspects of life that aren't related to the internet, so doing nature related things, hiking. Mrs_Thomas317 on Twitter asks, what do you plan to have coming up for the new year? I don't have any plans for 2018 other than, like I said before, to work on being a happier person and finding like happiness in my life. Evelyn Van Hees on Twitter asks, where do you like to live the most, Australia or Japan? Two totally different lives. Japan for friends, I'd have to say. Like, it was just a totally different lifestyle, so yeah, I don't know. I like Australia for like the convenience of everything, the fact that I'm in an English speaking country again, and the fact that I'm with my boyfriend. But I also liked Japan for the fact that it was Japan and the friends that I had there at the time. Girl with Hat on Twitter asks, what's the most thoughtful gift you've ever received? What song immediately makes you think of childhood? Most thoughtful gift I've ever received. It probably was from my parents. Like, my dad got me my first DSLR camera quite a few years ago. And then he also got me like the Japanese learning software and stuff, which got me my head start on that. So I knew some beginner Japanese when I moved there. Yeah, that was pretty thoughtful. What song immediately makes me think of childhood? My entire Christmas album. Christmas music makes me think of childhood the most. Otherwise, there's no real song that does. Other than like maybe the Spice Girls, obviously. Pablo Hernandez Diaz on Twitter asks, how long do you think you'll be living in Melbourne? Probably another year, or like just under another year. So yeah. So I think all in all, unless the plan, like things in my life go another way, all in all, I think I'll be here for like just under a year and a half. Or Butterfly Inez on Twitter asks, when you and Kyle finally move back to Canada, would you consider visiting Alaska? Actually, his family booked a big Alaska cruise for August 2018, so if all things go as planned, I will be visiting Alaska, but it will be on a cruise, and it will be my very, very, very first cruise in my life, so hopefully that happens. Oh, I'm so excited. Martina_B13 on Twitter asks, how would you call your skincare line, or what would you call your skincare line if you made one? I have no idea. That would take me so long to think about. So I can't really answer that because I'm not an instant creative kind of person. I don't know, I'm so sorry. But yeah, anyway, you guys, that's it for this Q&A video. I'm going to try to make it as short as possible, even though I think we're already at about 40 minutes of footage. So thank you guys so much for all your questions. I hope this Q&A helped you to get to know me a little bit better. And for any new viewers to my channel, new Aussie viewers, or no matter where you are living in the world, I hope this video kind of helped you get a closer look as to who I am and getting to know me a little bit better. And I'm glad we could all kind of get to know each other a little bit better. So I hope you guys enjoyed this Q&A, updated Q&A. It's been a few months. Time is flying by, and it's already Vlogmas day 18. I think it's day 18 or day 19. It's going by fast, so I can't believe I've made it this far. I'm so shocked. So thank you guys so much for watching. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Comment down below. And of course, subscribe if you're not already subscribed to see daily vlogs throughout December until such and such a time, and regular vlogs of my life as I live in Melbourne, Australia. I love you guys so much, and I'll see you next time. Bye.